kick it off, bring
Please.
you in.
Okay.
And are we ready? Okay. Hi, I'm Ken Jackson, SK Guitars, and we thought it'd be a great idea to get together. I've got a great client, Dave Tulo here. As we got to talking about all the guitars and the different amps that you have, I thought it'd be really cool to get together. You mentioned a long time ago you're somewhat of a tone chaser.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's fascinating because this guy has amps and pickups that I've never heard of before in my life. So we said, why don't we get together and we'll just highlight them. We'll talk about the guitars, we'll talk about the amps, we'll talk about the pickups. The other really cool thing is you've got some of the best stories about how you acquired this stuff. So I think that's what this is kind of about. We're going to do several different series. We're going to show you different guitars. We're going to show you different amps. Talk about the different pickups, the different configs. How did you get started on this? Like where did this all begin?
Well, been playing guitar since I'm probably 13 years old, and
you're 28 now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be 29 soon. But just a lot of guitars have passed through my hands. Some that I wish didn't. I wish that I didn't sell or whatever. But life throws different things at you, and sometimes all of a sudden something has to be sold in order to keep going, and that's what happens. So as I've been able to, I've tried to get back guitars similar to the ones that meant a lot that I had given up. And really it just started out of that. The first guitar that I bought, where it started, I guess what you want to call the collection that I have now, was a Wildwood Les Paul that I bought back in 2019. And really liked the guitar and was really impressed with the way it sounded. And it just kind of snowballed from there, just trying to get different guitars with different woods. I've got some acoustics that have different wood and that sort of thing. And then on the electrics, some of them I bought because of the neck profile. Some of them I bought because of what electronics might have been in there or what have you. But it just kind of started that way, and I guess just always want to be able to walk into the closet and pick out a guitar and know that it's going to sound great, and they're all a little different. I know when you're listening to a record and someone's playing a Les Paul, you probably don't know what kind of pickups are in there. I know I don't. But when you're by yourself and you're just playing through an amp and you've got a nice clean natural tone, you can hear the difference in some of these pickups between, let's say, Lawlers and Lambertones, between Fralins and Gibson Burstbuckers and that kind of thing. And it doesn't mean any of them are bad. It just means they're different. They're just a little bit of clarity different sometimes, or just a little bit more touch sensitive. It just depends. And probably not anything you'll ever pick up in a live setting where someone's playing with a band, but just from my own information and just sitting there to just relax and enjoy strumming a guitar a little bit, I've been just going after different tones for the last, I don't know, 10 years or so.
That is so cool. I always tell people, because if you have somebody that comes into my shop and they're looking for, hey, I want an electric guitar, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. They may not know the difference between a Telecaster and a Les Paul style. My comment to them is always, so if you go look for a TV, if you just see one TV, it's like you're like, well, that's pretty cool. It looks good. I think it looks good. If I line up 5 of them, it's much easier to tell the difference.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that one's way better than another.
Right.
It's just they're different. Right? They have a different look to them. And I love that about guitars, because for me, there's no advantage to Les Paul over a Stratocaster. It's a different guitar. It's going to sound different.
Yeah.
What I love about what you bring to our conversations is you introduce different pickups. And then when we start talking about amps, that's a whole nother dimension to
I've run across a lot of great amps that no one's heard of, including me.
Yeah.
And just been really surprised. I've got a lot of different amps. They're all tubes. I'm very biased to tube amps. I like tube amps. I do have one solid state, I believe, maybe 2 tops, but most of them are all, the other 25 or so are all tube amps. And I've got amps made in Italy by 3 different makers. Amazing tones that come out of these amplifiers, and they're all different. They're all different, but they're all good in their own way. And you know, then I've got quite a few amps made by Gerald Weber. I've had 6 of his amps. For those of you that don't know, Gerald Weber is Kendrick Amplifiers. And through the last,
talk about this
and
guitar
that's
today.
where this guitar came from. So
right.
we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Gerald and I have become friends. That all started when a guy in Houston was advertising a Kendrick head in Vintage Guitar Magazine back in 2000, maybe 1999, 2000.
Long ago.
And I had a Mesa Boogie short stack, 50 caliber plus, with 2 12-inch open back cabinets, and I called him and we talked, and we made a deal. I met him in Houston, and kind of like a drug deal, we were in a parking lot with our trunks open. And anyway, so
he doesn't mean that literally.
no. Came back and called Gerald and said, "Hey, I just want to bring you this amp to have you check it out." And he goes, "Yeah, come on by." So I drove a couple hours, and we've become friends. I've known Gerald for many years, and his amps are amazing. And I still have 4 of the original 6 that I've accumulated over the years of his different styles. And they're all a little different, and they all have their own personality. And you know, if you're looking for a blues tone, or you're looking for a rock and roll tone, or really even in some cases a jazz tone, it can all be gotten.
He's got them.
Yeah.
Tell me, because I didn't know Gerald really did much with guitars. You told me a great story.
Yeah.
On this.
So this is a Kendrick Townhouse, which is of course loosely based on a Les Paul, and I say loosely because if you look close, the shape is similar but not exact. It's very thin, where Les Pauls are usually thicker. Headstock is different. So
it's
basically,
got some body contours on it too.
it does have. It's got body contour in the back, belly cut, and very comfortable to play. Very comfortable to hold. Very light. I don't think this thing is probably in the 7-pound range. This guitar just has a great playability, great feel, great tone, really nice finish, nitrocellulose finish. Got a little bit of wear because it's been used.
It's gorgeous. I love it. It's honest wear.
Yeah, just like I said, I don't know what the electronic were. Gerald's story is Billy might have given him these pickups that he had, but he doesn't know what pickups they are. I've looked at them. The back is very rough and old looking and doesn't have any sort of markings at all as to what it might be. So all I know is it plays and sounds good, and so I'm leaving it.
Well, I want to hear it. Let's plug
we
it
can
in
do
and
that.
hear it. Yeah, so play a little bit for me. I'm dying to hear this.
Well, got a little bit of neck pickup. What is the bridge one? What's the lead sound like on that? Awesome guitar. We're going to be back with more. Check back in with us. We have more guitars and more amps coming. Thanks.